morning, everybody. This is Eureka Street Crypto Hub, and I'm Eureka John, and I'm broadcasting live on Theta TV Saturday morning, July 17th, 2021, and this is my video blog, aka Crypto Show, and I talk about anything and everything as long as it has to do with crypto. Sometimes it's pretty loosely related, but sometimes it's severely technical, so I'll go either way, man. Anyway, I'm not here to shill anything, and everything that I talk about, yes, I'm biased, but I talk about it because I want to talk about it and not because I have to and being paid to do so. And then I also, so I am biased, but I'm not your teacher, and I'm not shilling anything. And so, I've been doing this every single morning since February 6th, 2021. And then I started this channel on October 24th, 2020, and I've just been trying between February 6th and October 24th. I was trying to figure out the best times to do all this, and I kind of found my little shtick and my routine, my daily routine. This is my time to talk about anything that I've learned about crypto, either the day before or just overall in general. I've gotten some listeners, and they've thrown me links and suggestions and ideas, and I've had people come on the show now. I have somebody coming on the show tomorrow, the CEO of Meta Game Hub, which is they're trying to, their vision is to start a DAO, and a DAO of pooled ownership of virtual real estate on platforms like the Sandbox, and then later to expand into Decentralized and crypto voxels and Somnium space and stuff like that is what they're envisioning, and then also pooled ownership of NFTs. So that ought to be an interesting interview. It's a whole new concept that I've never thought about before. That's what I'm here for, is just to provide an open ear to new concepts. Not saying I support all these concepts. It's just I'm here. I want to know what's out there. I want to know. That's it. And that's what this show is about. It's about curiosity and learning and living that way with constant curiosity in mind. And I am definitely a curious cat for sure. Anyway, so let's get started. Let's take a look at the markets. Since the markets have been pretty dismal this month, there's not really a whole lot to talk about that's exciting, other than the fact that, whatever you probably have invested in April and May, you're probably losing money on if that's all the first time you jumped into crypto, which is probably discouraging to a lot of folks who just got into crypto, and I understand. But, the reason I'm into crypto, because I believe in the long-term vision of it. I believe in the paradigm shift of everything that's going on with money. And I just received some kind of child credit from the government that's supposed to be coming every single month, airdropped. Where does that money come from? We've already received all these, COVID airdrops. It's great and all, but it's got to come from somewhere, and it's highly inflated. It's highly inflating our money, and inflation is basically robbery when it comes down to it. And they're taking money from one place and redistributing it to another, and it's all gonna kind of fall in a house of cards somewhere. So you may get that temporary little buzz, just like getting drunk on a Saturday night, but then you got to pay for it come Sunday and Monday. So anyway, I believe in crypto as, in Bitcoin specifically, as well as a store of value that will help us be able to hedge our assets into something that is not completely inflationary. And I do believe in a lot of the crypto mechanisms. For instance, smart contracts and the development of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, which I'll be talking about today. The development of all these decentralized finance lending platforms to put the power of the credit system back in the people's hands, rather than being just lorded over us by banks, and then us having to, kiss the butt of banking institutions and financial institutions to even to look at our credit score. We get penalized for it. So this just, everything is all wrong right now, and things have to change. And then right now, I also believe cryptocurrency with the ability to use the browser wallets is implementing Web 3.0 into the infrastructure of society, along with Internet of Things, IoT devices. And all that is based on the blockchain and cryptocurrency. So it's more than just about trading. Whenever, a lot of people get into crypto because, Robinhood has brought some people into crypto, the stock apps, and a lot of millennials and people sitting around during COVID, bored at home, started trading crypto like a sport. And it gave you something to do. But from there, you start to see that it's way more than just about trading cryptocurrency and buying dips and selling on peaks and stuff like that. It's way more than about that. And if that's all you're doing, you're probably going to get wrecked and lose all your money. But if you're in it for the long run and you see the big picture of the technology and the huge paradigm shift that is happening right now, then in the long run, you will do well. I have absolute 100% faith in that. Anyway, so let's look at the market for today. All that being said, so Bitcoin 31,451,076, Ethereum 1,872.98. Tether's a stable coin. So there's stable coins, and then there's regular. Then there's cryptos, and stable coins are anything that is pegged specifically to the dollar. And stable coins are being used more and more nowadays as bank interest rates. You're lucky if you get 0.1% interest rate from a bank for a savings account. Usually it's like 0.08 or 0.05, which is ridiculous. And so stable coins are a great way to stay stable and stay pegged to the dollar, but be able to get the higher interest rates through some of these decentralized finance tools and mechanisms. And then you can even use the more centralized ones like BlockFi and Celsius and Nexo and stuff like that. But that's the freedom that crypto is giving us, is the ability to use decentralized finance in this way. So you don't even have to get into Bitcoin and Ethereum and anything like that. You can stick with stable coins and still get a good 4 to 8% APY depending on what platform you use. So anyway, there's Binance Coin $299.95, Cardano $1.16, XRP down to 58 cents. The Doge, I don't know how the Doge is still in the top 10. All the meme coins are losing the luster, but I mean, I don't know. They're not quite losing the luster, because if you look at the top trending searches, hold on, let me go to my bookmarks here on Twitter. All right, so CoinGecko top 10 trending searches as of July 10th to July 16th, 2021. And look at this. This is kind of sad. Of course, Utrust is just a payment mechanism, mainly over in Europe. I don't know Million. Is that a meme coin? And Bitcoin. Then Axie Infinity, which is fine. It's gaming. But Shiba Inu, Smooth Love Potion, My DeFi Pet. What the heck is going on? These are... Oh man, this is a sad state of affairs, in that way that meme coins are taking over the top 10 searches. Meme coins are fine if you accept the responsibility and treat it like a game, and that's it. But the problem is a lot of people are being fooled into thinking that those are legitimate investments, and they're not. And it's just a great way to get wrecked. And if you know the rules to the game and you play the game and you can make money from the meme coin game, then by all means, more power to you. But if you're new to crypto and you think that jumping in these meme coins are a solid, sound investment opportunity, get out. That's all. I'm not. It's not financial advice, but look into the fundamentals. That's what I spent this entire channel trying to do, is to look into fundamentals of these coins and to let things drive my curiosity. So anyway, the Croissant. I really love this Twitter account. With the meme coin hype blowing up, I thought it'd be nice to have a bit of refresher and go over some of the cool projects with real use cases that are actually being built on Ethereum. And all these projects are breaking into trillion-dollar industries. Let's begin. And he goes down through like 20 projects that are amazing right now. I'm not going to go down through Croissant's feed right here, but follow this account. And he highlights some amazing things going on in the crypto world that have nothing to do with meme coins and rocket type of to the moon, Lambo, wind moon, number go up type of stuff. Because it's not about number go up right now. As obviously as you can see, it's not about number go up for a lot of these projects. A lot of these projects are in dev mode right now. They're not worried about day to day or week to week pricing right now. And that can be seen, especially when it's something like Theta Network down here at $4.40, and that's fine. You know, companies like MGM Studios, Lionsgate, Samsung, Sony, Google, they're not going to be investing and and setting up validator nodes on Theta Network for it to just go down to $4.40 and have them lose all their money. No, they have a long-term investment schedule and plan in sight. They have 5 patents. Their 5th one just got filed a week and a half ago. So it's still in the young stages of all this stuff. So keep that in mind. Follow the money. And there's a lot of money in Google and Samsung and MGM Studios and stuff like that, and Sony and LG. And so $4.40 should not be dismal to you. It should scream opportunity from the rooftops. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so let's look at some of these other tokens. I want to look at Gen, and this is the token for DAO Stack. Now, I've been getting heavily involved in the bankless DAO and learning how DAO systems work. I mean, I'm just learning how to be online in communities in general, and I feel like a bull in a china shop. You know, I don't want to be too eager, but I don't want to be too shy, and I don't want to try to speak over people online. And it's real hard to do whenever you're online because it's a asymmetrical type of communication. You can't read face expressions. You can't hear voice tones. So it's really important to stop and think, and that's what causes a lot of toxic and caustic behavior online, is people read into something that's not particularly meant to have been said. And so it's why you have to be careful, maybe inject some humor into things. It's funny, millennials, I look at 80s movies, and 80s movies, you know, they were made by the boomer generation for the most part, and they're so direct and blunt and crude with their jokes, and mean. Oh, people were just like vocally and just like in their face, so mean to other people, and it's just, you know, as we've kind of, you know, sunken back into our metaverse space of being online and communicating with each other. When we're in person nowadays, we definitely don't act the way that we do online. Online, people act and speak as if they were in 1980s movies created by boomers. But in person, people are like, "Oh, hi, yeah, great, yeah," you know, because I don't understand how all this has happened. I mean, I'm just trying to vocalize it and wrap my head around it here, but it's just amazing, you know, nowadays when you look at 80s movies, how rude people were to people's faces. And you know, is that good or bad? I mean, at least they got it out there, you know. And then the jokes sometimes sound so mean-spirited as well. And I think that's just a generational communication thing, because they didn't have, you know, online places to vent their frustrations and hide in and stuff like that. So when people were face to face with people, that was their chance to get it out, you know. And so. And then also, a lot of them were veterans of wars, and you know, they're a pretty frustrated lot, you know. That's all I'm saying. So if you're a millennial, the Gen Xers like me, we see all this you know, headbutting between boomers and millennials, and you know, we're just kind of like the quiet middle child back here, just being like, oh man, this is a train wreck, you know. And just watching all this happen, and then how these two generations have, in a weird way, a lot in common, but they just like butt heads, and I don't know. Anyway, so let's go on down. Let's look at DAO Stack here. Anyway, speaking of DAOs, I've been heavily involved in this bankless DAO, and I guess that's what got me on that tangent. And bankless DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. Now, what is a decentralized autonomous organization? Ideally, it's supposed to be an organization like a community or a company or whatever that is flat instead of vertical. So there's no hierarchical structure ideally. Human nature, there tends to end up a lot of times in plutocracies, and I'll talk about what that is here in a second. But DAOs are supposed to be based on a set programmed protocol in which people all have equal weight and their tokens have equal weight and their vote. They all get to vote on protocols and proposals that get put forth to be voted on. And then the treasury and payroll and everything like that is handled through code and through votes and code and proposals. And there is no one particular person in charge of the treasury, in charge of the DAO. The words CEO and leader and stuff like that are no-nos in DAOs. And think about it like this too. DAOs operate in a way like pirate ships. You have pirate ships. Okay, back in the days, you had the British Navy, and they had the crew that were hired on, and they made their wage, and that's all they made, no matter what they did. And there was a lot of people that would defect and stuff like that because of that. Pirate ships, if they were to jump on a job and to loot and get booty and all that stuff, a lot of times people would vote on exactly what type of mission that they wanted to jump on, and when they got the loot and the booty, in many cases the captain of the ship would distribute all that according to the roles and the efforts that they had put in on the ship, and not necessarily just the captain hiring mercenaries or just wage slaves. So I don't know. The model kind of translates over to DAOs in a way. So anyway, let's take a look here at DAO Stack. First of all, let's go over to where should I start with this? Let's start with Australian. Okay, first of all, let's start with where should I start with? Let's start with Australia. Digital finance industry wants to legally recognize DAOs. A new legal initiative in Australia wants to allow DAO project governors to contract with other legal entities through DeFi tools. Specialists and lawyers focused on decentralized finance are launching an initiative to create a new type of legal entity in Australia representing decentralized autonomous organizations. The country's Digital Law Association and global law firm Herbert Smith Freehills are lobbying an Australian Senate committee to formally recognize new decentralized models for corporate governance. These new DAO models would replace the board of directors with an internet community. The Australian Financial Review reported Thursday. Okay, so the initiative specifically intends to allow DAO Limited project governors to contract with other legal entities through DeFi tools, implementing blockchain technology to remove traditional intermediaries like banks and exchanges. Limited liability status will also prevent Australian members of a DAO from being liable for losses incurred by decisions made by a member of the community. So it takes away the liability of specific positions and roles in the community. According to the lawyers, legalizing DAOs in Australia could make the country more attractive for global digital asset businesses, as groups of local DeFi entrepreneurs reportedly shift offshore to jurisdictions like Singapore and Germany. Singapore is very crypto friendly. A DAO is a decentralized organization with certain sets of rules that are encoded as a computer program and are usually based on blockchain technology. The first most important attempt to create a DAO was the DAO, a machine operating venture organization launched in 2016. MakerDAO, that is the producer of the DAI stablecoin, also is one of the first DAOs as well, and that's been well established and is moving into a lot of institutional finance as well. So anyway, the news comes as some cryptocurrency exchanges are shifting to a decentralized structure. Like Crypto.com is moving toward a decentralized finance type of structure. And now they have their DeFi wallet as well, which you own the keys to your crypto. Yesterday, Shapeshift Crypto Exchange announced plans to open source its platform and dissolve its entire corporate structure in a move to underscore its commitment to DeFi, inspired by the broader DeFi community. We'll now help pioneer a new model of economic coordination for the 21st century. No corporate entity, no banks, and no borders. The tools are ready, Shapeshift founder CEO Eric Voorhees said. And that's been happening too with the Bankless DAO. Bankless started off as LLC. and it is a media company. Well, they decided to stay true to the principles of blockchain and crypto and Ethereum and stuff like that. And so they decided to form the DAO, and it just got formed, a couple months ago. And since then, it's really taking shape, and they'll be transitioning from the LLC to the DAO, as far as I know. You might want to correct me on that one, but it takes a while to transition and to form and to make cohesion. Again, DAOs are all experimental right now, but here's another article. Wyoming legally recognizes first DAO in the United States. And this happened a couple months ago as well. Let's see here. No, this is it's an incorrect link. So this goes to a Shapeshift link. So let's see here. Wyoming DAO. Okay. So Wyoming's recognizing DAOs. Okay. Regulators everywhere. DAO, Wyoming law, legal, decentralized. Okay. Regulators everywhere should follow Wyoming's DAO law. Wyoming's world's first DAOs is the start of recognizing these legal entities worldwide. So first we had Wyoming, now we have Australia. Okay, July 1st marks the first time individuals and organizations in the blockchain industry can create a legally recognized decentralized autonomous organization in Wyoming. Prior to the law, which passed in April, no formal recognition of DAOs existed anywhere in the world. Wyoming's DAO LLC legislation represents the boldest attempt to close the gap between formalized corporate structures and unincorporated groups governed by rules coded in smart contracts, so all code. Regulators around the world would consider passing equivalent laws in their jurisdictions to ensure legal protections for those developing and participating in DAOs. Regulating DAOs. DAOs are informal organizations of individuals who rely on smart contracts to enforce collective decisions without human error or manipulation. Today's DAOs are frequently deployed for many purposes such as decentralized finance, governance, the governance of the DeFi organizations, fundraising, exchanges, and real estate lending, all powering billions of dollars in transactions without intermediaries, the opposite of a formalized corporate entity. DAOs disrupt regulatory frameworks for entity formation and governance due to lack of a centralized individual and/or group operating the entity. For example, Elon Musk controls Tesla and has controlling authority over whether Tesla will accept Bitcoin as payment for Tesla cars. Imagine us instead if all Tesla owners had this decision-making power and voted on whether Tesla would accept Bitcoin. This is interesting. This represents the shift from authoritative to DAO collective decision-making. While industry advocates believe this shift is the next evolutionary step in corporate governance, prior to the Wyoming DAO law, DAO developers stood in legal limbo, unsure of their liability for acts carried out by the DAO. That's still the case outside of Wyoming, now outside Australia. Under current laws, most states in the U.S. would treat DAO participants as partners in a common law partnership, which exposes the participants' personal assets to the DAO's lawsuit and settlements and liabilities. So anyway, it goes on more for that, and anyway, let's talk a little bit about how to build a DAO. I have 7 minutes left. So Shapeshift is planning to decentralize, and Shapeshift is a type of exchange here. Promoting to a decentralized future, Shapeshift founder and CEO Eric Voorhees said the decision to dissolve the company's corporate infrastructure and transfer governance rights to the users was inspired by the DeFi community, which has grown significantly over the past year. So a lot of these established companies are starting to realize that they want to form a DAO and to give the power to their communities. So DAO members hold the DAO token in a lot of cases, and a lot of times there is a barrier to entry. You have to hold a specific amount of a token in order to be able to vote, and then some have just no minimum. You can just hold one token and still be a member of the DAO. So it just depends on what community. The bankless DAO, I believe you have to hold 32,000 bank token in order to be a part of it. So then they say, well, doesn't that create a plutocracy? And for instance, Chainlink God, who I respect his opinion very much on the internet, he says correct token weighting voted is imperfect and results in a plutocracy most of the time. I think DAOs will transition to a synthetic Yearn style model with representatives who are voted in and checked by token holders. A bit of a technocracy, but that's preferred initially. So what is a plutocracy? I always need to go back and and just kind of really clarify what when people throw out SAT words and graduate school terms and stuff like that. What exactly does that mean? Because I don't assume that everybody knows what all this means. So a plutocracy is a society that is ruled or controlled by people of great wealth or income. The first known use of the term in English dates from 1631. Unlike systems such as democracy, liberalism, socialism, communism, or anarchism, plutocracy is not rooted in an established political philosophy. The term plutocracy is generally used as a pejorative to describe or warn against an undesirable condition. So basically, the people with all the money, run everything. I mean, wouldn't you say the United States is kind of a plutocracy right now? Historic examples of plutocracy include the Roman Empire, some city-states in ancient Greece, the civilization of Carthage, the Italian city-states, Venice, Florence, pre-French Revolution, Kingdom of France. I was just listening yesterday to a podcast, about how they were they took a lot of the land from the Catholic Church in France, and then they were printing money based to be linked to bits and pieces of that land, and they highly inflated it. So that's a danger with things like plutocracies. Anyway, so that being said, so how do you fight against plutocracies? Well, you do things like quadratic voting. Quadratic voting is a collective decision-making procedure which involves individuals allocating votes to express the degree of their preferences rather than just the direction of their preferences. By doing so, quadratic voting helps enable users to address issues of voting paradox and majority rule. Quadratic voting works by allowing users to pay for additional votes on a given matter to express their support for given issues more strongly, resulting in voting outcomes that are aligned with the highest willingness to pay outcome, rather than just the outcome preferred by the majority, regardless of the intensity of individual preferences. Okay, now that sounds like people buying votes, which is true. However, it prevents people from just buying a ton of votes that are one-to-one votes. So, for instance, see here, you have one vote, one credit spent. But then quadratic voting is you get 2 votes, and then it squares each time. So 2 votes is 4 credits, $4 spent per vote. 3 votes is $9 spent per vote. And you can see, 10 votes easily becomes $100 spent on a vote, and then it just scales up from there. So it becomes very hard if you have a lot of money to start, to pay for a ton of votes on one specific issue. So a lot of these DAO platforms are starting to implement this. Now, all these companies and communities, what this has started is an industry of people who create DAO platforms. And those DAO platforms, for instance, let's take a look at a couple of them. One is Aragon. A lot of DAOs have used Aragon as a company to build their DAOs on top of. Aragon provides the software development kits and the software in order to build these voting infrastructure platforms. So Aragon 1 is a Swiss company formed by the founders of the Aragon project, building tools and services related to Aragon. It's primarily funded through grants given by the Aragon Association. Decentralized organizations can solve the world's worst problems, and that's why we're building Aragon. Okay, this is the company behind this, the Aragon.org. And I'm in the FAQ section. Let me go to the top. And okay, Aragon Govern, optimistic governance for DAOs, a pioneering framework for frictionless DAO governance with on-chain execution and plug-in dispute resolution. So this is kind of like, how we have like CRM systems for companies, content resource management, for you to be able to, I don't know. And QuickBooks and things like that allow that create built infrastructure for companies to be able to build out and use to carry out their day-to-day operations. Well, this is what these companies like Aragon and DAO Stack here is another one using Alchemy that are building these platforms that allow DAOs to form. They have governance and voting platforms. They allow it to be scalable. They help keep it decentralized. They provide proposal submittal type of mechanisms. Anyone can submit a project proposal to a DAO. Proposals include a project description and budget. Proposals can be anything from contractor projects to policy changes. Make your community meritocratic. So based on merit, proposals are passed by community vote. Each decision is the product of group-wide collaboration. Voting power is distributed to the community as reputation. An individual's reputation total dictates the decision power of their vote. And then members who contribute more earn more reputation. Passing a proposal rewards the proposer. And then coordinate any number of issues. Alchemy handles huge numbers of proposals by boosting the most value-aligned proposals. Boosted proposals are easier to pass, and then even with high activity levels, Alchemy DAOs are able to efficiently pass value-aligned proposals. And then transparency and security. Everything is on chain, so you can go look at how many people voted for what, and then you don't really see their identities. You just see an address, unless you know their wallet address. But records are both publicly available and extremely secure. So there's complete transparency in these DAOs. And we'll go back to Aragon and the Aragon governance. So I think the majority at this point are based on DAO Stack and Aragon. I believe Bankless DAO is built on DAO Stack. And the interview I'm doing tomorrow with Meta Game Hub, these guys are going to be built on, or they're built on Aragon. So let's see here. Hey, what's up, Deboog? Nice job, like the crypto passion. Happy Saturday. Thanks. Yeah, happy Saturday to you too. Stick around tomorrow. I'll be interviewing Meta Game Hub, and that's kind of why I'm talking about DAOs today, to kind of prime it up for tomorrow, because we're going to get in pretty deep tomorrow. Meta Game Hub DAO is a DAO that is going to focus on pooling virtual real estate, so people can all pool together on that, and then it's a DAO centered around that, around governing the treasury and finance and voting and policies on that. So let's go here and let's look at this, and let's see here. Learn. I'm trying to find where I found that page of all the people using Alchemy DAO Stack right now, because there's quite a bit. So 1UP is using it. And I believe Bankless DAO is. Shapeshift is using it. 3Box, and ETH Global, Fortmatic. So Seller Network, Polka DAO. There's quite a bit of people using DAO Stack right now. Unstoppable Domains. A lot of these don't really have a lot of DAO members right now, as all this is starting to get built out, and a lot of companies and communities are moving from a centralized structure to a decentralized structure. And they have this Gen token, and it can be bought on Uniswap, Bitfinex, Etfinex, IDEX, and Liquid and CoinSwitch. And then there's a Gen XDAI bridge. And I'm not really that versed on what XDAI is. All I know is that when I'm in the Bankless DAO and I get tipped bank tokens, that it all sits on XDAI as a layer 2 solution until I would move it out of there and put it on my layer 1 Ethereum wallet. So I guess XDAI is a layer 2 solution that a lot of DAOs are using in order to be able to vote on proposals without all the gas fees and all that stuff associated with the Ethereum network, which is amazing. And that is basically what is keeping these DAOs moving smoothly without having to worry about all the gas fees associated. So that's really cool. I've run out of time. I'm gone over by about 4 minutes, and tomorrow we're going to get a little more into the DAO as I interview Meta Game Hub CEO Camilo Echeverry. And Meta Game Hub, like I said, is an interesting project. Decentralized NFT pools. So we'll be talking about that. I'm getting some more people interested in being interviewed, which is cool. After last weekend, I interviewed Devin S. He's a former TradFi executive. And then I interviewed Mike Filbert, the CEO of the Crypto Playground. And people are seeing these interviews and be like, man, that was a good interview. I would like to be interviewed too. And so I'm getting some interest, and I'll be interviewing in about a week and a half or 2 weeks, Coach from Sovereign Health, and he's interested in creating healthcare solutions for DAOs and blockchain communities. So that's a whole other new concept. So that's what this show's about, is bringing forth new concepts and ideas. And I'm not saying that I'm investing in these ideas or that you should either, but I just want to know what's out there. And that is, that's where I wanted this show to go, for people to be like, hey man, can I use your platform to show what I'm proposing, this amazing idea, and let's all explore these ideas together. And I look forward to tomorrow as well. All right, so happy Saturday, Deboog. And then anybody else that may watch this video later, I'll be uploading this to YouTube, BitChute, and Odyssey. Give me a thumbs up. Helps the algorithm. I'm not asking for money. It's not what I'm here, and it's not what I'm about. This is just all helping me grow my knowledge and stuff like that. So, all right, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.